Welcome everybody. Today is a very exciting video for me, and the reason for that is I've been wanting to get my hands on an Apple HomePod for a very long time. Now, due to the high cost of the original Generation 1 HomePod and the lack of Bluetooth streaming capability, kind of made it not worth it for me. I need something that's a little more versatile, and it was just missing some of the most basic features that at that cost, there's no way I was going to do it. Now fast forward a couple of years, the Generation 2 HomePod is now available. They've dropped the price $50 as well as added support for spatial audio, which will allow you to, number one, listen to your Dolby Atmos enabled music from Apple Music, as well as listen to Dolby Atmos enabled movies from your Apple TV. That alone was enough to pique my interest and get me to go and buy a stereo pair. Yes, that is right. $650 for these two speakers out the door. So I'll be honest with you, I've got some pretty high expectations. I've watched a lot of reviews and it seems as though people have pretty much across the board said these are great. I'd like to know for myself, this is not going to be an analytical audiophile type review. This is just going to be me, a person who enjoys music, listening to them for the first time and letting you know if they sound good enough to justify a $650 price tag for a stereo pair. First things first, let's get them unboxed. We're gonna find a good position for them on my desk here. And then the third thing we're gonna do is let them play some music for a little while in order to calibrate themselves to their surroundings. Okay, so as far as I can tell, the speakers have had enough time to run through their calibration process and to get themselves kind of aware of their surroundings to make sure that when we do go to play a Dolby Atmos enabled track, that it's going to pinpoint the location of the different sounds with accuracy.
My time for love is here.
So here's the deal. Honestly, I'm not getting any kind of a spatial audio effect. I don't know if it's the placement or if I didn't let them calibrate long enough. I also have another suspicion that there's issues when these speakers are connected to your Mac. So just to be clear, I don't have my main computer output going to those because I know that's one of the biggest problems. I actually have iTunes itself AirPlaying over to these speakers, which is what is supposed to enable the Dolby Atmos functionality from a Mac. Now, I'm getting nothing. Now, my Apple TV is close by, so what I'm going to attempt to do is connect the HomePods to the Apple TV because that is supposed to be where the definitive experience is from. I don't understand what the difference would be and why Apple wouldn't make their Mac computer, which is the most expensive thing they sell basically, with a couple of random exceptions. But I mean, the fact that this doesn't work better right off the bat, very interesting, to put it nicely. Already completely different. Okay. This is what it's supposed to be. You have to have an Apple TV. Stupid. It's amazing. Okay, so I have a few thoughts, and I'm gonna try to keep this short and sweet. I'm sure it's all been said before. Spatial audio, when connected to an Apple TV, is pretty stinking incredible. I mean, I have no idea how they're able to do it as well as they did. Lots of people have made virtual surround sound in sound bars. I mean, there's even sound bars that have upward firing speakers to recreate the height channels in a Dolby Atmos setup that still are just, they're okay. But somehow these two speakers sitting in front of me can portray a Dolby Atmos mix better than a sound bar that actually has speakers that are firing up at the ceiling. And I don't even understand how that's possible. It's pretty wild. That's all I'll say about it. It's really, really good Apple have done a bang-up job as long as you're listening from Apple TV. Now, on the other hand, I am completely shocked at the lack of compatibility with HomePod and my Mac computer. How is it even possible that it works as poorly as it does? I mean, it's bad. It's really frustrating. Now I'm looking at these speakers at the $650 that I paid for them and going, so the only thing I can do with these is hook them up to my Apple TV or hook it up to my Mac and deal with all sorts of glitches and bugs and just nonsense. The quality of the Dolby Atmos is nothing like it is when connected to Apple TV. And that's a shame because this is actually a fantastic speaker. It sounds amazing. With all the genius that's floating around in that building, it is beyond me that they have not spent the time to make their own operating system work better with their new speaker.
This sucks. Let's go get drunk.
I don't know, you might see a reboxing video coming real soon. We'll see. I'm gonna give it a couple more days. I'm gonna watch a couple movies tonight. We'll see what it's all about. But as of right now, if you're like me and you wanted to use them with your Mac, don't do it. It is nothing but frustration. And forget about it if you're even doing things like editing in Final Cut Pro as you scrub through the timeline. It's unusable. There's a 4-second delay. It's literally unusable. I was expecting this to be a really happy moment for me, and it's brought nothing but frustration and making me wonder, what in the hell is Apple thinking? Anyway, that's my final thought. Apple TV users, go for it. If you have the money to spend, they sound great. If you're someone who's gonna use it with your Mac, forget about it. Trash that idea until Apple says that they're going to provide proper support for Mac with these HomePod Gen 2s. And as Jeremy Clarkson would say,
and on that bombshell, it's time to end.
ugh. Peace.